I, 29 female, have a son Lance, tween he's biologically my sister's 33. But she left him with my mom and ran off with her boyfriend sometime after he was born because she didn't want to be a mom. My mom barely had time to care for him since she had been working multiple jobs since my dad died, so I primarily looked after him, and I was the only mom he knew. I felt weird being called mama at a young age at first. But I eventually got used to it, and I love Lance more than anything in the world. My sister got back into contact with us sometime when Lance was 5 years old. She, for some reason, wanted to be in Lance's life. We were reluctant at first, but we let her in the end. Their first meeting seemed okay, but when my sister heard Lance call me mama, she went in low contact with us for a few weeks. My sister cut contact with this at some point because she felt offended that Lance saw me as his mom. Last week was my 29th birthday, and Lance got me a personalized coffee mug that said "Best Mom in the entire world" on it, which honestly melted my heart. I hugged Lance and told me he was the sweetest little boy I could ever ask for. Yesterday, I was sitting at the table drinking some coffee from the mug when the doorbell rang. My mom got it, and it turns out it was my sister who wanted to talk to my mom about something unrelated. So when my sister walked in and saw me drinking from my mug, she asked me who got me that. And I told her Lance did. She got upset and told me why she cut contact with me. She said it was because it was hurting her that Lance called me mom, when in reality that wasn't the truth, and that she was his mom, and it made her feel like I was trying to replace her. She told me that she'd resume contact with me again if I stopped pretending to be Lance's mom, and if I wanted kids so bad I could have some of my own. I started laughing in her face and told her that I couldn't have replaced her as a mother because she never was his mother to begin with. She didn't raise him, I did, and Mom and I worked hard to give him a good life. I told her the extent of what she did was give birth to him, and that's it. My sister started crying and tried to get my mom on her side, but my mum just told her she's right. You know, you chose to leave that child behind, and the fact that a teen was better at parenting your kid than you shows me that I failed as a mom that caused my sister to get even more upset, and she stormed out of the house. I'm getting calls from her boyfriend and her friends telling me that what I said to her wasn't necessary and that I made my sister feel like a useless deadbeat. That's why I'm wondering if I was wrong. I said what I said to get the point across, but I didn't want her to feel like crap. I wanted her to understand why she was wrong. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What you said wasn't nice. But she can't just swing back into a child's life after abandoning him. Because she didn't feel like being a mother, you stepped up and you are now his mother. She's just the person who gave birth to him. She's the one who chose to step out of that little boy's life. She doesn't get to be upset that someone stepped in to give him what she wouldn't or couldn't not. The idiot, your sister, abandoned her child for so many years. Now wants to be involved, but doesn't take any responsibility, and is now crying because she feels like a useless deadbeat. Tell your sister and her boyfriend you'll be happy to send Lance over to live with them. I bet they'll run so fast that the only thing they'll leave is an echo. The audacity of her. Everyone's the idiot here. Your sister sucks for obvious reasons. However, she is his mother unless she's given up parental rights, so while you might feel justified in what you said, it might have put her in a position where she's going to pursue having him in her household legally, and that will destabilize things for him. You all need to have a grown-up conversation about her intentions towards him and whether or not she truly wants to foster a relationship with him. How is Opie the idiot she became this boy's mother, and just because her sister comes back in Opie, should immediately surrender her son to his original incubator because she said so? No, that's absurd. Sister doesn't want to be a mother. She likes the idea of being a mother now that it's convenient for her. Lawrence isn't a coat that she can put on whenever she wants. She gave birth to him, but she was never around for him. She never had to lose sleep over him crying in the night, and she never had to feed him, clothe him, teach him, or change him. She has no right to be jealous after what she did to that kid, and I would keep her as far away from him as possible. My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years. Gifts have been sort of a sore spot, at least for me. So the first year we were together, she made me some cake things for my birthday, which was nice and everything. But then she took half of them back to give to her family. So it just seemed kind of weird, like here's your present, but I'm taking part of it back then. Her birthday came that year and I did a bunch of stuff for her. Got her balloons, flowers, a card, and some gifts. Christmas came and I gave her a few gifts and didn't get anything following. Birthday of mine. Nothing. I got her a gift for her birthday that year. But I didn't go all out like the first year last Christmas. She wanted seat covers for her car. I bought them but wanted to see if she even gave me a card or anything, which she didn't. We went to lunch a few days after Christmas because she kept insisting on coming over. I felt like I had to give them to her since they were all still wrapped and sitting in my living room. But that was the last straw with me, and gifts with her. My birthday came, and the same thing, nothing. So in almost 3 years of birthdays and Christmases, I got half a gift. I've tried talking to her about it, but she just claims she forgot or has so many other people to shop for Christmas, etc. She was dropping hints before her birthday for different stuff. So I knew what she wanted, I just didn't want to buy it. Her birthday came and I didn't get her anything. I figured, why should I keep putting in the effort and buy gifts for someone who can't be bothered to make me a card? It's not a financial thing either, because we both make about the same amount. And as I said, I'd appreciate a homemade card that she drew or something, so we went out to celebrate on Saturday. She kept saying she was excited to get her gift, so I took her out to dinner. Then she wanted to come over, so she came over to my house. She kept looking around for a while, then said, "Okay, I'm ready to open my gift." I said, "What gift?" She said, "Ha ha, seriously. Now it's my birthday." I said, "I know." She said, "Quit messing around." I said, "I'm not messing around. I really didn't get you anything." She said, "Then why did I come over?" I said, "I don't know, you wanted to." She said, "You really didn't even get me a card." I said, "No, I just figured we're not doing gifts anymore. I mean, you don't give them." So she gave her usual excuses. "You're hard to shop for. I tell her what I'd like and some stuff is only $5 or $10. Well, I forget and a few other things. Then she said, "It shouldn't be about receiving, it's about giving. But thanks for being a passive-aggressive idiot and ruining my birthday. Am I the idiot for not getting my girlfriend a birthday present? Not the idiot, she's absolutely right. Gifts are about giving as much as receiving. She didn't give you anything for 3 years because she wasn't valuing you enough to care. It's sad, but I don't see you both having a future if her love language is asking and receiving and never giving. Maybe you should consider the relationship if she can't put in the minimum effort to get her boyfriend's gifts for these occasions. Perhaps she felt she didn't need to get you gifts because she was dating you. How did she fail to see the obvious hypocrisy here? Is she the person who expects to be pampered or have things paid for her? What a gold digger you got, girlfriend, sounds like my ex-boyfriend, who was clinically diagnosed with a narcissistic personality disorder. He'd expect a big do for his birthday, but suddenly, he didn't think birthdays were important when other people's birthdays would roll around Opie. Not the idiot, and you can very likely do better than someone who probably never thinks about you beyond what you can do for her. I usually roll my eyes when every single answer is break up with this person. Now here I am saying it to you, but seriously break up with her. She can't give you one gift in 3 years and you ruin her birthday by not giving her one no mom. The relationship is all about her bail. Now I'm a 35-year-old woman who has been deaf since I was 6 years old. My husband is 38 and also deaf, and we have a son who is also deaf. Though like my husband, he was born deaf. My younger brother is getting married in the summer, and he and my future sister-in-law are making personalized vows. I don't want to miss out on the vows, so I've asked my brother and his partner if he could get an interpreter for my family, so we could understand he was fine with it. But his partner wasn't keen on the idea of having a stranger up beside them as they made their vows. My brother then suggested that our older sister could be the interpreter. Instead, so it wouldn't be a stranger, both he and our sister are fluent in BSL as we learned it together when I became deaf to help me learn his partner again, isn't keen on this either, as she apparently wants it to be just them up there. I understand it's her day. And as the sister of her husband-to-be, I really don't have any right to make demands, but I'm a bit uncomfortable. She isn't keen to make any accommodations when joining a family where 3 members are deaf. I don't want to miss my brother's wedding, and will likely go even if she doesn't let there be an interpreter. But I don't think my son will be going. Then he'll be bored as he won't understand what's going on. And being said without the interpreter. And that isn't a good recipe for a wedding. My brother wasn't happy about this and told me to leave it with him, and he'd see what he could do. I know he'll try, but I also don't want to cause trouble for him. Am I the idiot in this case? Edit the point of having an interpreter near them. However is so, we're looking in the right direction and not saying to someone next to us, or fixated on a piece of paper reading their written vowels. Not the idiot, you are right that you don't have any right to make a demand, and you aren't making a demand. You're asking if you can have an interpreter to be more included in your brother's wedding. Your brother seems not to mind one being there. And if it's a relative interpreter, they would be attending the wedding anyway. I know weddings are usually viewed as her day, but it's just as much his day, and he should get a say in what happens. Especially if it's to involve his family. You are the idiot. It's his wedding. His special day. It's not centered around you. You outright refuse to have the translator by your side so it doesn't distract everyone in attendance, and refuse to entertain looking at written vows. You're unwilling to compromise. It's not your wedding. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect experience for you. It's not unreasonable for the bride to not want someone up there with them and in the photos. So what if she was in a wheelchair and asked for a ramp? Could they say screw her because it would ruin the venue's aesthetic? This type of logic is why society is still so able. Is today, Opie, it is your future sister-in-law's wedding, but it is your brother's wedding too. So having an interpreter when 3 family members are deaf won't ruin the wedding. So I, 27, female, have been married to my husband, 29 Tom, for 7 years. We've been together for 10. I work at an equine centre with client sources, and I've been in the horse world for about 22 years. When I was a kid, an older instructor took me under his wing. Let's call him Will. He taught me nearly everything I know now and is considered a part of the family. We used to go to different regions for competitions and spent a lot of time living together with my parents and me, staying at his. And the other way round and renting flats. If the competition was longer than a week. It's important to know that Will has his own family, a wife around his age, and a son currently 39, married with a kid. My parents are also really close to him and his family due to how early he appeared in my life. I think of him as an uncle or mentor and still talk to him about any problems I have with horses or ask for some life advice. Will is currently just over 70 years old and has some health problems, so I try to call him and visit him as much as possible. Since he did so much for my family and me, I also run small errands for him if his wife or son is not available for some reason, like I can go to the shop or give him a lift if I'm in the area. Now, my husband has always been hostile to Will. Will wasn't fond of him either, but he kept things civil while my husband would blow up without reason. As I'm spending more time around, it became a real issue for Tom and his parents, to the point of his parents coming over unannounced. They said how much it hurts their feelings for me to spend time with Will and his family instead of them, and that I should review my priorities since they are family. Now that's where I can be an idiot I've lost. I called and told them that Will and his family are like a second family and an extension of my own. I've informed them that he showed both me and Tom kindness and support, while my in-laws couldn't be bothered to visit or call during any emergencies while Will was there. I've also told Tom that he shouldn't behave like this, since Will always treated him with kindness. This resulted in Tom storming off with his parents and calling me an idiot for saying that Will is more of a family than they are. I the idiot. Not the idiot, let me get this straight in the comments. You mentioned they seem to view non-blood relatives as not family yet. They and hubby are mad. You don't consider them close family. Oh boy, the hypocrisy is strong in them. Why are you married to him? Being alone isn't too bad. It beats having a cry baby of a hubby like yours. And there are better men out there than that baby you're married to. It's lovely that you're so close to Will and support him with running errands and other help. Your husband is jealous of this relationship, which is quite frankly creepy of him, since Will could be old enough to be your grandfather. And I'm sure you've never given him any reason to think your friendship isn't platonic. You treat him as part of your extended family. It's absolutely none of your in-laws' business who you spend time with. It's clear your husband has been telling them a different story to make them take his side instead of yours. I'd ask your husband exactly what his problem is with Will, since his point of view is completely unreasonable to me. My grandpa recently suffered a stroke and is staying in the hospital. I-18 male was visiting him in his room and some family, including my aunt and her 2 kids. He had been taken for tests that would take a while, so my aunt suggested we all go to lunch in the meantime. At that point, a nurse had come in to put on fresh bedding. My aunt started looking through my grandpa's belongings to find his wallet and goes, we can use Papa's money to buy our lunch. He would love that for us, all being here. Note this aunt is one of the stingiest people I know, despite being exceptionally well off. She's the type of person to go to the bathroom when she sees the waiter come with the bill. Obviously, I was angry that she would suggest using his money or think anyone else would go along with that, so I spoke up loudly and asked her, "Can't you afford to spare some of your husband's money to buy you lunch? Or are things that bad?" She shot daggers at me and then looked embarrassed. The rest of the time, we were there after we left. My dad texted her the location of where we were eating lunch, and she texted back that she and her kids were going somewhere else. She also texted my dad today to ask what time we were visiting my grandpa, and I'm pretty sure she purposely went another time. Was I an idiot? Not the idiot, how disrespectful to help yourself to someone else's money, especially after being in a hospital after a stroke. How does she think that is acceptable? She was doing it without his consent. So that is certainly attempting to steal his money. Funny how you embarrassed her. But I would have scolded her. She was going to steal from your grandpa while he was in the hospital for a stroke. That's disgusting. It's the lowest of the low. You call her out on this. While it was probably tactless. Your implicit point is valid. It's wrong to take advantage of someone in a vulnerable state. I'm curious how your cousins reacted. That would say a whole lot about their family life. But Grandpa would have loved to spend that money on everyone she was doing. Him a favor. Jesus Opie. Do your grandpa a favor and have your dad remove his wallet from the hospital room so she can't pull that crap again.